everyone. I'm Jill Nicolini on behalf of Hester Van Hooven and the rest of our team. Welcome to day 3 of Convention TV at InfoComm. It's been a packed week as usual, and the finish line's now in sight. But we're not quite ready to wrap things up just yet. Hester is still down at the Orange County Convention Center looking for any last-minute scoops. Isn't that right, Hester?
Absolutely, Jill. If any breaking news hits, I'll be sure to cover it.
Great. Thanks so much, Hester. In the meantime, we'll recap some of the biggest stories from the first 2 days of coverage here at InfoComm 2019.
Rochelle, it is so nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Hester.
We can already feel the excitement here in Orlando for InfoComm 2019. What can our viewers expect from the Avixa team this year?
Oh, our attendees have so much to expect here for InfoComm 2019. The energy is just, the excitement here in the air is just incredible. So we are going to welcome nearly 44,000 attendees here in Orlando for InfoComm 2019 with the official ribbon cutting ceremony which precedes the opening of the trade show floor. The trade show floor will open on Wednesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are going to have technology solutions and products at its best from the nearly 1,000 exhibitors that are going to be featured in our exhibit halls. We invite everyone to come out and take a look and peek at some of the pavilions that we have offered inside the exhibit halls. We also have Center Stage, which is going to have some of the best industry experts speaking, and they'll have the opportunity to meet our speakers and presenters up close. We also have the park, where individuals can network and also partake of some of the food and beverage that is being served inside the exhibit hall. We are also featuring this Vietavit sculpture. We will also have seminars and workshops and education that's being offered all here at InfoComm 2019. Not to mention the Avixa booth, which is offered on the lower lobby area for our members as well as individuals that are interested in joining Avixa's membership. We thank everyone that is here, and we look forward to inviting all of you to InfoComm 2019.
One trend we've been observing for a few years now is the rise of software-based solutions. Although hardware will always be critical to deploying outstanding AV systems, you only have to look around the show floor to see that countless companies are leading with their innovative software offerings. Convention TV caught up with a few manufacturers to get their perspective on the potential that emerging software solutions have.
That's right, Jill. As I've scoped out the convention center and talked to the exhibitors, all of them seem to want to talk about their software-based innovations. It truly is a new and exciting age in the AV industry. Let's hear what some of them had to say.
What are some of the factors driving the AV industry towards software-based solutions?
Software is really cool. You take a lot of hardware ideas and you virtualize them with software. A lot of physical boxes become computers, and computers you can network and define them by software, upgrade them remotely if you need to, adjust them without having to throw out hardware when you want to upgrade. So software gives you a whole lot more agility and scale, and it's a lot cheaper. When you apply things with software, you save a lot of money usually too.
What's the most exciting software advancement recently achieved in the commercial AV industry?
Well, Dan, I'm going to talk about hardware real quick. I think the biggest change in the AV industry that we're going to see momentum in the next 5 years, let's say, is a shift to common off-the-shelf hardware platforms like Intel, as opposed to AV-specific hardware being built from the ground up. And so I know it's funny you asked about software, but really it comes down to what kind of hardware are you targeting with that software. Today in the AV space, we have software that touches a lot of AV-specific products. In the future, I think you'll see software delivery models where the software itself is the product and it runs on something that's off the shelf, just like we do with QSys today.
You're seeing a lot of focus on machine learning and cloud and AI, analytics, all these different things, but the cloud is becoming this massive environmental impact of the entire industry. So we're driving engagement differently, we're driving collaboration differently. It's at the point now where cloud is becoming less of the term everybody's wondering about and more about the norm. So if you're not delivering platforms and solutions that are focused around the cloud, you're not delivering a solution anymore. You're seeing every company, whether they're an AV company, whether they're a signage company, the cloud becomes more and more important to them. And if you look even within NEC, our focus with the analytics platform, with the Infinity board and all the different solutions we're doing, the cloud is an instrumental part of that.
If there's there's one word that defines our industry more than any other, it's experience. Rather than being system installers, today's AV integrators are storytellers and memory makers. That's because more than ever, AV professionals have come to realize that our industry's technology is uniquely capable of giving people experiences that they'll never forget. We talked to some of commercial AV's thought leaders about how experience is everything.
Jill, I couldn't agree more. Walking around the convention center here in Orlando, all I see are AV professionals who are singularly focused on giving their clients the experience of a lifetime. Here's what they had to say.
What does experience mean to you in the context of commercial AV?
I think the experience today needs to be very rich experience. It needs to be intuitive, it needs to be natural for the users. And I think it's similar to driving a car, riding a bike. When you get in a car, you don't want to think about how that engine is working. You want to just be able to use the car for what it's there for. And I think technology is similar. You also have to have good business outcomes that relate to how that technology is deployed within the organization. It has to have cultural benefits to the organization. It can't impede what that organization is doing for their line of business.
I think that we have a lot of dreamers of dreams who need makers of things to make those dreams of reality. And those dreamers of dreams have massive amounts of business for the makers of things that form the backbone of this industry. These are people that want to reimagine new worlds at both, experiential, event-driven things like South by Southwest or Electric Daisy Carnival, but also who want to reimagine the way that we work or the way that we shop. And they need people who have the technological sophistication and the design experience to take these wild ideas and tame them and make them a reality that is going to become the future of how we live, work, shop, and play.
Let's check in with Hester down on the show floor. Hester, I hear you're over at the Starrdraw.com booth. That's one that every InfoComm showgoer's got to check out each year. So let's see what you found.
It's so nice to see you again, Rob. So what can the viewers look forward to seeing here at Starrdraw this year?
Well, Hester, as you say, after all these years, we are showing Starrdraw Design 7.3, and that's the latest version of our award-winning, but now 7th generation design and documentation software that we've developed from the ground up specifically for professional AV systems integrators. So with Starrdraw Design 7.3, integrators can generate all of their project documentation, like block schematics and sales presentations, rack layouts, floor plans, reflected ceiling plans, cable schedules, and the like. And with this latest version, it's now natively 64-bit. And that means that users can support the largest possible project sizes, accessing all of their computer's memory. And we've added some really cool features like importing equipment lists and attribute values from a spreadsheet. So that's a really quick way to build a project. And so this is what we're demonstrating right here at the show, Starrdraw Design 7.3.
Great job, great interview, Hester. Keep up the great work. And speaking of great work, I want to give a shout out to the team at Sound and Communications for all their help in putting Convention TV together for us. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, moving on. If you've been paying attention to AVIXA over the past couple of years, you know the association's made a tremendous investment in producing high-quality research for and about our industry. Let's go down to the show floor now to chat with Sean Wargo, Senior Director of Market Intelligence, who has some insights into the AV opportunities available in different markets.
So we all know the commercial AV industry is made up of numerous different verticals and market segments. How are the opportunities different among them?
Great question. So we've done a lot of research over the past year into various vertical markets to kind of understand the true end user in them, the consumer, to really look at what differentiates their needs across. What we've learned is several things. One thing is the use of audio and how important that is to the experience. So if you're in a sports venue, an auditorium, a concert, etc., that's a crucial part. In other markets like corporate, you've got collaboration technologies, the need to work with others, hospitality, retail, are very interested in the branding. So how are they communicating the brand out to their clientele, the consumers? So all of that shapes the types of solutions that are brought to the market and differentiates how you have to approach them and the language you have to speak as well.
And are some markets looking especially attractive or lucrative at this time?
We've covered a number of different markets. There's certainly a lot of growth happening in the core of the industry, the corporate market, where you have office spaces, et cetera, trying to bring in new technologies for collaboration. But you have hospitality, healthcare, particularly attractive, particularly as we look at potential recessionary periods in the future. Healthcare always survives that and does really, really well. So that's an area where we're starting to see a lot more investment in technologies that allow for remote communication with patients, better experiences in hospitals and healthcare facilities. So those in particular, I'd say I think our highest growing vertical at this point is healthcare, even though corporate remains the largest for the industry.
All right, we'll be right back with more Convention TV highlights right after these messages. Please stay with us.
Sound and Communications. Since 1955, keeping readers up to speed on the latest AV technologies and how they are applied in commercial applications. Technologies from enterprise, augmented reality, AVL integration, BYOD, and digital signage are changing the world in unimaginable ways. Subscribe to Sound and Communications and our weekly wire or monthly newsletters free at soundandcommunications.com/subscribe or visit us at booth L11 in the main lobby area.
Welcome back. Let's continue with more highlights from the past 2 days' broadcast from the Orange County Convention Center.
I'm here at Community with Paul Peace. So I hear that you have a new product that is a horn that behaves like an array. Can you tell me more about this?
Absolutely. Yeah, we call it the LVH 900 beamforming venue horn. And what that is a single point source, large format loudspeaker that has an array of high frequency and mid frequency drivers, all energizing one large format horn. It gives us the power of a line array in terms of beam forming. It's not necessarily beam steering, but beam forming. And from Community, it's a new entry that's bringing venues to life.
Let's go back down to the show floor. Hester is at the Arista booth to check out the company's new video projection mapping turnkey system. This compact all-in-one solution for projection mapping applications definitely piqued our interest. Were you able to get some more details for us, Hester?
Projection mapping is becoming very widespread these days. I'm here with Kevin Winkler at Arista to talk about their turnkey projection mapping solution.
Yeah, so we have a custom server which has 3 AMD WX9100 Pros with a sync card. Those have 6 DisplayPort outputs on each one that are synced, frame and refresh synced. We've got a NVMe RAID, which gives you like around 3,500 megabits a second, so you can store all of your media on that. So those go directly into our Blade system, the ARD5816, which is configurable with HD-Base-T, AV over IP, several different configurations. So it's really great for the projection mapping because you can take those right in one rack, have all of your outputs, and run up to 320 feet to each projector, which gives you full control and 4K to each projector.
Who's ready to take center stage? Of course, I'm referring to Center Stage here at InfoComm. It's the hub for creative discussions, featuring leading thinkers and practitioners from the fields of retail, entertainment, hospitality, events, and education. Want to learn more? I know I do. Let's go to the show floor and catch up with Rachel Bradshaw, Director of Program Design, to learn more about what's going on at Center Stage.
Rachel, I'm feeling more creative and inspired already. So tell our viewers about the exciting things going on here at Center Stage.
Thank you, Hester. You know, it really is exciting. We have a great lineup of speakers put together by our program director, Kirsten Nelson, on both core AV vertical market topics like education or live events, but also emerging markets like retail and hospitality. And not only do we have this great slate of presentations, but we actually have opportunities for our attendees to meet and network with our Center Stage presenters this year at some new events we're calling Meet the Experts, also at a new workshop and brainstorming event we're calling Cohort Lab. And pro tip, our Friday lineup on Center Stage is utterly bananas. We have this group of people from places like Leviathan, Moment Factory, Gensler, Arup, Samsung, who are all talking about these emerging ways to use AV to change people's lives. It's going to be a really fun day, and if you come on that final day of InfoComm and experience those speakers, then you'll be able to actually brainstorm with them on emerging topics at the Cohort Lab at the end of the day. It's going to be like no Center Stage has ever been before.
As the worlds of AV and IT have become more entangled and inseparable, AV professionals have increasingly had to familiarize themselves with enterprise-level network security issues. And with more signals, both audio and video, riding on the network every day, the learning curve is only going to get steeper. Let's explore this topic with folks who are tackling these issues every day.
Thanks, Jill. When we hear the word convergence now, it's almost become passé because the truth is our industry has already converged. IT professionals are already deeply intertwined with AV systems, especially those that are on the network. Let's talk about security-related issues with some of those here at the show.
Security is all about the weakest link being the threat. And so we're at one provider, one place, one building, the threat is going to change. And so the thing is that it requires major education, and probably the single biggest threat is that a lot of people are still under the impression that security is not a constantly evolving thing, but is a one time I've done it and now I'm secure. Security is a living beast and must constantly be addressed and updated.
Is there something that our industry's manufacturers are doing or could be doing to ensure that AV systems do not pose a threat to enterprise networks?
I think a really important trend in that regard is the move away from proprietary AV over IP approaches and into standardized approaches. What this means for the integrator man on the street is now, instead of having to learn the different vulnerabilities and security procedures and protocols necessary for dozens of different products and different approaches, instead he could be trained up on one stable, secure platform and use that for deploying all AV over IP systems in a secure way.
How well prepared do you feel today's AV integrators are to discuss network security issues with IT professionals?
So Dan, I think that the average integrator is a lot better prepared today than they've ever been. If we had been having this conversation just a couple of years ago, I probably would have given us a poor rating. But there are critical software applications that are driving complex audio systems, room scheduling systems, and digital signage networks that demand AV integrators become proficient with IT systems and with IT security. So I think it's kind of forced us down that path, and I think we're doing a much better job now.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more highlights from Convention TV right after these messages.
Dante meets SDVOE at booth 1161. Transports Dante audio and 4K 60 frame latency video over a single Cat6 or fiber cable. We have a number of Dante and SDVOE solutions on display. While you're there, don't forget to ask about our turnkey projection mapping solution. Arista, booth 1161.
Welcome back to Convention TV. The intersection of IT technology and commercial AV is simply the new reality in our industry. That means more AV systems running on the network, whether it's a company's core IT backbone or a discrete AV-centric network. That means you must stay in the loop on the latest trends, and you must stay apprised of the skills you'll need to get ahead and stay ahead. If you want to learn more about networked AV solutions, you should swing by the Sound and Communications booth L11 and pick up a copy of the Spring 2019 ITAV report. David Danto has put together a great package for his debut issue as the magazine's editor. Highlights include a primer on AV over IP, a discussion of how emerging collaboration technologies are expanding possibilities inside and outside the classroom, an exploration of how Bluetooth can be designed into AV systems, and an analysis of 8K displays and their growing potential. Plus, you can read about the rise of Team Chat and the rapidly changing face of the contemporary office floor plan. Check it out. Let's continue with more highlights from the past 2 days' broadcasts from the Orange County Convention Center.
I am here with Mike Nan from Magewell. This debut of the new hardware sounds very cool. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, obviously AV over IP is one of the hottest topics here at InfoComm, and Nutec's NDI technology is one of the IP technologies driving the whole transition forward. We already offered at Magewell the series of ProConvert hardware encoders, which convert traditional video signals into NDI streams, and the new ProConvert AIRX completes the chain, decoding them into high-quality HDMI or SDI signals for connection to baseband devices for a variety of applications. This simplifies the use of NDI in things like digital signage, video walls, image magnification in churches and entertainment venues, or you can simply pair it with an encoder to transport video, audio, and even power over long distances over a single network cable. We designed the device to be truly plug and play, but it also has a web-based interface for access to advanced features such as FPGA-based scaling, And there are 2 buttons on the device that allow users to switch between NDI streams and also choose an output preset to match the target resolution and frame rate of the device.
Great information, Hester. Thanks so much. Let's go right to our next segment. Corporate communications represents one of the ripest opportunities for AV integrators, but make no mistake, that opportunity is continuing to evolve. Convention TV caught up with several prominent AV professionals to get their perspective on which technologies will have an outsized influence on corporate interactions.
The commercial AV industry is composed of many important vertical markets, but arguably the most important is commercial spaces. So that's why we decided to talk to a couple of industry experts about the current state of corporate AV.
What is the nature of modern corporate communications, and have you identified any overarching trends?
That's a great question. The way corporate communications used to be in most Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies was it was technology reserved for the highest level of executives. And now what we have is technology and supports and services that are for the masses, democratization of communication. Everyday workers, team members, job planners all want to come in and just get on with their meeting and just do things. So we now have to make technology that's accessible, usable, pushed down into every corridor and every room, and able to be used without needing to get an IT person or a technology person in the space.
We are seeing a trend where organizations are moving away from hardware solutions and driving to software-based solutions. Right? The challenge with that is that they have to run on purpose-built PCs or PCs that aren't running a lot of extra software on there. So what we have to do now is not only manage that software-based application that sits on the PC, but the actual PC itself.
Yeah, I think AV integrators that want to succeed within the corporate space and in corporate communications specifically, I think it's really important for them to take the time to understand what user experience is required in that space, and taking the time to understand the full landscape of their corporate customers. So, what age group are they working with? Are they remote workers, or is it a blend? Do they have an open workspace? Are they doing hot desking? Or there's different environments that we're seeing as trends within the corporate space, and they need to be flexible and able to address that. In addition, I think services is really, really key, and that's where they can make a lot of money, right? And the monitoring, also things like professional development, training, and support, and those types of things. It's really, really key within the corporate space.
We don't want to get too deep into InfoComm 2019 without checking in on Dave Labuscus, CEO of AVIXA, the association that organized this event. Industry analysts have long observed that InfoComm is a microcosm of the broader commercial AV industry. So let's ask Dave how this year's show reflects the current state of AV.
Dave, here we are at another InfoComm, and the first day has been a tremendous success. I'm sure you and your colleagues at AVIXA are feeling really great today. So in your view, how does InfoComm 2019 illustrate the larger trends at play for the commercial AV market?
Perfectly. I mean, when you think about that question, how does this show represent the trends in the AV marketplace? Everything about this show is a microcosm of that marketplace. The innovation that the manufacturers and exhibitors are bringing to the show, the excitement that the attendees are bringing, the channel as well as the end users. People are here looking at the latest trends in all of that and how all of that is advancing. You will see the latest technologies and displays. You see migrations to software. You see advancements in hardware. You see applications for the technology. Everywhere you turn, what you see here is what you could use in your business, either in providing a solution for your customer, or if you are that customer, how to solve your business problems.
Ross is known for technology solutions that power live video productions all around the world and address the creative business and technical challenges faced by content creators. So, Hester, what's the headline news at Ross Video for InfoComm 2019?
I'm here with Jared Schatz at Ross Video. So tell me about Expression Tessera and some of the other products you're showcasing here at InfoComm 2019.
Hi, Hester. Yeah, right here we're showing Expression Tessera, which originated in sports venue production for stadium LED displays. It gave us the ability to stitch together multiple playback engines across an infinite amount of pixels. There's no other system in the world that's frame accurate that can play back across an unlimited amount of resolution space. We've actually been going into different market spaces with the technology. Also new on the booth, we acquired a company called Protelis, and there's a product called ProXI, which is a very innovative workstation integrator that really supercharges a KVM matrix, allowing an operator to control multiple computers at once and quickly get in and out of their workstations. We're also showing more live production solutions. We have an end-to-end legislative control system for legislative television production, controlling pan-tilt zoom cameras, switchers, graphics, playback devices into a cohesive control system. So that we're excited to show that off this week as well.
And we'll be right back after this.
For any job, you need the right tool. With Starrdraw's latest software, you can save even more time and money creating system schematics, layout drawings, and all your project documentation. See the new features in Starrdraw Design 7.3, the fast, easy way to draw and do more, at booth 2560.
All right, thanks for sticking around. Let's keep on reliving InfoComm 2019 with additional highlights from the first 2 days of the show.
Milan's been the talk of the commercial AV industry for months, and that trend's definitely been holding true here at InfoComm 2019. The creators of Milan, the Avenue Alliance, are out here in full force. So naturally, ConventionTV is on the scene to get an update on this network protocol.
So here at InfoComm 2019, the Avenue Alliance is announcing the completion of the certification program. So the first products are now being compliance certified, and Meyer Sound is announcing that our Galaxy platform is now the first Milan certified product from Meyer Sound.
Well, I think interoperability is key for these kind of systems, because that's what it needs to do. Actually, different devices from different brands need to be able to talk to each other and use the same protocol. And that's also what we with Luminex are facilitating with our network switches in the Milan group, and as an Avenue certified AVB switch, make it just plug and play and make it work all the way. So it's that's why interoperability is really a key part of an audio protocol. It really has to work. It's like putting two things together and it just talks to each other. So.
Well, Milan bases on AVB. AVB is a set of IEEE open standards at a similar level as Ethernet itself. And this type of standards cannot just be taken away by somebody. It's not under control of certain proprietary companies. It's something that belongs to the entire audio world. So we can actually use these standards from now on for many, many years without being afraid that something or somebody could interfere with this.
When it comes to pixel counts, it probably is fair to say too much is never enough. Already 4K displays have become nearly ubiquitous, and our industry's manufacturers have begun to create the 8K displays of the future. But how should we interpret 8K? Is it a pipe dream at a time when more and more AV signals are traveling over network infrastructure? Or is 8K truly the wave of the future? Let's ask some of the most knowledgeable folks here in Orlando what they think.
That's right. We've been hearing a lot about 8K, and we have been for a while now. So we decided to talk to a few preeminent video experts about whether the hype is real.
Well, for fixed commercial applications, 8K is not really ready for prime time. So there is a lot of buzz around 8K coming from Japan and the Olympic Games, shooting in 8K. But if you look to the solutions for 4K now, even this is not as widely spread as HD. But when the technology, when 8K is coming, Barco will be ready for it. So we're already scouting now possibilities for 8K, and when it comes, we will be ready.
Having pixels without processing power doesn't mean a great image. So the ability for the eye to be able to see that resolution is not just dependent on the number of pixels that are present. It is also dependent on the processor to control those pixels to make it as close to the analog experience as possible. That's what's still yet to mature in this marketplace.
For commercial applications of this, if you look at planetariums, planetariums have been doing 8K domes for many years now. It used to take 16 or more projectors to do this. Now we can do an 8K dome with 2 projectors cross-fired across a dome. Other applications is command and control. You need a lot of pixels there in command and control. We have big, bright projectors that can do this very efficiently now, as long as you have some sort of box on the front end that can do your windowing and things like that. So it becomes a very efficient way to do command and control. If you look at design, there you need a lot of fine pixels, and we have that with 33 million pixels of them on the screen. And there's many, many other applications. Look at theme parks and so forth.
Think video games are child's play? Well, think again. Competitive gaming has outgrown both the living room and the arcade, with professional eSports competitions now being staged in world-class arenas and purpose-built venues around the globe. That's why eSports has become a hot topic of discussion in the AV world. And marquee venues like the HyperX eSports Arena, Las Vegas, prove that there's money to be made in outfitting buildings dedicated to this growing pastime. For a look at the trends impacting eSports AV, we spoke to a few industry members knowledgeable about this exciting growth area.
That's right, Jill. And not only is this an exciting growth area, but it's becoming a cultural phenomenon. And that's great news for our industry, because there'll be millions of dollars pouring into these venues that house eSports competitions. And those venues are going to need extensive AV integration. So we decided to talk to a few industry experts about this emerging market.
Between large venues like Fusion Arena just announced in Philadelphia, the local smaller arenas, and the growth in collegiate space, we're definitely seeing the market grow. I think over the next 2 to 5 years, we'll see tremendous growth in esports venues. Beyond that time period, it's going to be dependent on the development of a profitable business plan for the growth to continue.
I think if they want to be a serious player in that particular vertical, you have to have the production skills, because there's a lot of production going on around these. You need to have good IT skills, because it is esports, so it is a lot of routers and switches and a lot of IT-centric technologies. And you also need to be good with data, because a lot of the times when you're doing the esports productions, there's actually real-time data that goes along with all the player data. So it's important that you have all those skill sets.
There's lots of questions about whether esports is different or the same as conventional sports facilities. And part of the difficulty with that is defining what is esports. Is it a bring your own computer? Is it tournament play? Is it stadium, arena play? So we've got to define the picture first. With that said, most sports facilities can accommodate esports with some adjustment. They've got a lot of camera capability, they have to have a lot of staging capability, and most importantly, the backstage requirements are something in the order of 4 or 5 times the size you would have for a concert venue, for example, or for normal sporting capacity. And that's the biggest challenge right there.
We'll be calling it a wrap on Convention TV at InfoComm 2019 right after this short break. Before this year's InfoComm show draws to a close, we want to thank all of our viewers, of course, that's you, for tuning into Convention TV. We work really hard to deliver all the news you need to know everywhere you need it, anytime, on any screen. So if you've got new products to show off or a game-changing announcement to make, remember Convention TV is here to help you spread the word, because TV works. After all, you're watching it, aren't you? Well, that does it for our coverage of InfoComm 2019. Thanks again to everyone for watching, and we'll see you back next year in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. For Hester Van Hooven and the rest of the crew, I'm Jill Nicolini. Have a wonderful, relaxing summer. Don't forget the sun.